defining the line. This is the first episode of a podcast that we've been conceptualizing, talking about the foundation of music and how certain genres come to be, and then how those genres kind of marry each other to create little subgenres. Like how we get, I don't know, what's a really weird subgenre that you can think of right now, just off the top of your head?
Post-traumatic stress core.
Post-traumatic stress core. There you go. See, you'd have to have a good like bit of hardcore, bit of scrams, bit like just all the brain rot. No, but that's it's just always been interesting to me, and Austin as well, how just the way songs become certain songs just by the way they're inspired, from hip hop to metal to whatever, every genre. It's important, I think, to catalog and see like on the timeline where certain things land and like how that influenced specific bands too. When I was kind of having this little internal battle of who is the first genre or whatever, my brain kept coming back to like gospel type music and things like that, and I think we kind of ended up landing on folk being the original where music kind of stems from, because if you get really into it, folk music could technically be what our ancestors sang, harping on the lute and doing little like bard type ballads and stuff. Maybe honestly, like just, or even like Mongolian throat singing type stuff, that's considered folk music, I guess, from a specific place. It's just, that's like where I would say music stems from originally. And
yeah. That's like the overname to things like tribal dances. All of that is included there.
All of our like elderly ancestors, early 1900s, late 1800s, people like that. Once we start getting into documenting music and actually like putting it on wax, like getting actual record of what music is, I feel like what was the most popular thing to people? Everybody knew hymns and everybody knew gospel music, and it was like kind of just like identifying things that everybody could like sing along to. So when they would get someone into the studio, more or less it was always a person just covering like gospel or like a hymn or some kind of old like folk type of music that people could relate to on a global scale. So it's like a world type of music too. And then it's just interesting because I feel like after that era of just only recording gospel music and people being able to listen to that and digest it at home and then kind of interpret it into their own version of what music is, that's where we get the second pillar, which I would say is blues, because that's
people being able to listen to music, stop and say, hey, so what would make this better in my eyes?
Mm-hmm.
That's whenever things started to get interesting.
Yeah, because then it's like not vicarious anymore. They're actually like putting into action. There's no longer a like stronghold on who is just making the music. Now people can express themselves, and it's not just like a hymn that everyone sings at church. It's, oh my god, this guy's singing about his life story right now, or he's singing about the war, the depression, things like that. And then in blues you get things like jazz, Americana. It kind of just breaks down into a bunch of other certain aspects of music where blues is the forefront, obviously, because they have like that same groove, like that shuffle, I guess, if you want to call it. It's got that shuffle feeling to it. And that was all happening from like the 30s to like maybe the late 40s to the early 50s. You had a bunch of like blues artists. Honestly, blues transitioning into like R&B and I don't even know if you would go to hip hop just yet at that time. But the 60s, that's whenever like it was like the big bang of music. That's where we get like pillar after pillar after pillar. Cause after the era of the blues kind of just holding it down. Hey, thanks for the follow, appreciate that. After that, like just two of those pillars kind of being the foundation for almost 100 years, I would say. Then you just get the 60s where like you have people home recording, they get their own studios in their houses. People can finally like put their own music to wax instead of like going and hitting up a studio. They can just get a Tascam and record it right there, make a demo tape of some sort, which is crazy. Like that's where it started getting insane. And you get from that rock and roll, people like what, the bopper, what is his name? I can't even think of his name. The big ol' Elvis. And then you have
Elvis.
yeah. You have like
Bopper.
well no, the Big Bopper too. There's another rock musician around that time. And then you got, I think Buddy Holly was the Big Bopper. I don't know. But there's a lot of like
Probably. Yeah.
there's a lot of music happening that was just rock and roll, which is another pillar.
We said there's 7 pillars, right?
Yeah, 7 pillars.
7 pillars. So first we put folk, then we put blues, and now we're going into rock and roll.
Rock and roll is the era of like the 50s, turn of the century type shit where everybody's like, it's like post World War II. Everyone's hype on us like not becoming a smear on the fucking earth. So they're hyped on that. But it's also just like a time of people like super conservative people like not expecting this type of music to come out. So it's funny to see like what rock and roll back then would destroy the radio wave. Now to us is like super tame. Like we have Slaughter to Prevail and shit like that now. So like,
Yeah.
if you put that band back in the 50s, those old ladies would like implode.
Oh,
They would
man.
not know what to do.
We'd be having another Salem witch trials.
But yeah, after rock and roll, I feel like it influenced a lot into the 60s because all while this is going on, pop is happening too in the background, setting this the foundation of what like popular music and stuff. And then you had the Beatles come in, who were like pop in their early era, making some like pretty much what you would consider British boy pop band music, coming over here and getting all the girls wet over their music, which is crazy. That Beatle fever shit. It's insane. So they are one of the most interesting bands because they changed
Like
with
what
a
we
lot
got
of
now
them.
with the sleep token. It's like, what?
Yeah, they're just like so being so
I just want to listen to rock, and then bitches are like, I just want to fuck you to this song, and I'm like, whoa, you know.
like the body wants what the body wants. What can I say? Yo, thank you guys for the follows. Thanks for popping in too. We're just over here yapping about music, so hope y'all are enjoying. But yeah, it's crazy because the pop music that was going on at that time is way better than what's going on now. But like
Yeah.
the Beatles
Well,
kind of
because,
set that, I feel like they kind of got that formed up to show you like,
yeah.
hey, this is like a formulaic way to write music and get girls to come to your shows or whatever. I don't know.
And
You had like punk and metal pretty much happening at the same time, more or less. So those are another
Yeah.
2 pillars, boom, added at the same thing. You got punk happening with like bands like Death. Like there's the British invasion happening too, but America's got some fucking homegrown punk that's just sprouting all over the place, but Americans don't know what it's called until Britain comes over here and says, "This is punk rock." So we had so much
Yeah.
proto punk just in the grassroots, like just growing without us realizing it.
Yeah.
Like we had
Growing in the shadows.
exactly bands like Death, who was like an all African American band who was a proto punk, like literally laid the floor plan down for what modern punk is now. And no one cared because they were all black dudes, and black dudes didn't care about the music they were writing because they're like, fuck your white boy music. So it was just a real controversial and punk thing for them to do, and to just like go against the status quo. Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, punk is like it's like a mentality in the music.
Yeah. It's not just like a music genre. It's also like a scene and like everybody's got the same mindset.
That's why
A
I
lot
like.
of people try to flip that now and be like, "Oh, well, you can be a conservative punk," and it's like, well,
I
you
don't
can, but are you really like? Are you
see. I feel like those
actually?
two words don't even go
It's like,
together. Like you can't be a conservative punk. It's just
you can try, you know.
you could try to wear a MAGA hat to a fucking Dead Kennedys show or some shit.
Oh
See what
man, not to
happens.
Dead Kennedy show, you get stomped.
Get slaughtered. No, but it's insane because after that, like again, how we were talking about the gospel era of like elderly people. This is where TV and syndicated radio is hitting the airwave. So imagine your grandma's chilling, watching fucking whatever TV show plays live music, and it's all, I don't know, what's her name? Dolly Parton is playing la la la. It's some country little, and then Black Sabbath, boom, hits the fucking TV, and you're just seeing, oh my god, what is this guy talking about? He wants to kill himself. Oh, these graphics are so distorting, and it's making me feel uneasy. Like this is so like it was literally mind blowing, and we have metal, boom, another pillar breaking the airwave. Like, and the media, like it shocked so
Yeah.
many people, dude.
And you see why a lot of ththings I talk about always comes back to Ozzy Osbourne.
He was
This is why.
definitely, yeah, he was the king of just shocking people, man. He got kicked out of Texas for pissing on the Alamo, just
Yeah.
crazy.
But don't get me wrong, downtown San Antonio still smelled like piss before that. Nah, I'm
Definitely.
just joking. Just talking shit.
No, I love San Antonio. It's
Yeah,
my,
it's just,
this is my home. Just kidding. I'm not from here, but I love it here. But yeah, so it's cool because it eventually people start taking what like R&B or whatever you want to call it, jazz. They started rapping over it and just getting really groovy, and like, it became hip hop. Like you had, what was that song we were listening to, The Butcher? You just have this
oh yeah,
guy come in and he starts speaking over essentially what is a guy playing like almost like a boom bap beat, but
yeah,
what will become a boom bap beat in later era of the 90s and stuff. But that time in like late 60s, early 70s was when the Sugar Hill Gang and like all that stuff was going down. So hip hop kind of became a pillar at that point. So I feel like that's all seven, right? Isn't that all seven of the pillars?
blues or folk, blues, rock, pop, metal, punk, hip hop. Yes, sir.
That's all of them. And yeah, it's just crazy because as human beings, we just always are like drawn to making noise, no matter what it is. Like it doesn't even. It just auditory like stimulation. There,
Yeah,
it's always going to be there, and we're always going to seek it.
yeah. It's all about making noises that feel good to you and making noises that hopefully feel good to other people.
Exactly. But it's interesting because now the landscape of music has gotten so different. And that's the main reason why I think this podcast is going to be fun to do, because we're getting in a place where music is getting crazy. Like they're mashing
Yeah,
multiple genres together. It wasn't just
dude.
like this and that. Now it's like 4 different genres smashing together.
Yeah, I mean the existence of someone like Kim Dracula, it doesn't like that. Kim Dracula doesn't exist if all of those different genres that he smashes together or they smash together it wouldn't exist if there wasn't such a diverse amount of crap that he could just smash together. So yeah, it doesn't.
See, I just had a thought too right now, because like, where would electronic music fall under all of that? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like fucking Aphex Twin. Where
I
the
guess like
fuck would that fall into? Or like,
I guess that would go like under the pop, right?
true, yeah, because there is a lot of synthesis. It'd be like in a Venn diagram, it would be like where pop and I guess hip hop kind of meet or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Huh. Yeah, and anyone watching right now, fucking Ava Cabbage, thanks for the fucking chat. If you guys got any recommendations for subgenres that y'all want to see in a future episode, or just like song, band, whatever the shit, that's what we're kind of trying to do. We're trying to set up the stage to set up all the subgenres. And there's things we haven't heard, and we're always open to trying to hear some new stuff. No, they said they'd count it as a pillar. The synth completely changed music forever. That is a good fucking
Yeah,
point.
that goes
Actually,
along with the pop because like the synth is all in the pop
I
music.
know that's where I'm trying to think, like, would it go on? Because if you think about it, Steven, what is his name? But yeah, the synth really did change the game, not gonna lie. And there is like a whole genre of music that doesn't have any words or anything like that. Cause that's what I was thinking of. Like, what about EDM and dubstep? You know what I'm talking about? I don't know. Yeah, I could
Yeah,
see it. I could see it being under pop. I could see that
it's
too.
it's I would count it under pop because it's all like club music, and that's like the same. It's like the same crowd, you know. Same people are listening to like the EDMs and the dubsteps as like the same people listening to pop music,
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
guess
that.
that. Yeah, true. Cause then it would be a fucking evolution at that point of like what they're. Cause I guess disco would be part of pop, and disco is kind of like there's disco songs that don't have any words in them and stuff. So like I guess that's where electronic music
Yeah.
maybe
Well,
would.
all of these pillars have like I've heard just straight up like BBL Drizzy. That's an instrumental beat.
Right,
And then
right.
like there's instrumental punk and metal bands and everything like that. So like each of the pillars have their own section of instrumental music. What do you guys think in the chat though? Do y'all think like electronic music and everything will fall under the category of pop? Let us know in the comments down below.
Down
This has been
below.
Define the Line podcast. Like and subscribe.
Actually, like and subscribe. Brian Eno, one of the guys who got the synthesizer, him and Prince, which Prince was super pop music too. So I don't know. I'm with you on the pop thing, but
Yeah,
if the comments say otherwise, we should put a poll in the comments and fucking see what's up. See, and this is another good argument. Pop just reflects whatever era it's in, where like electronic is kind of, because it's the same thing. Like maybe pop influenced it so much to a point where it broke off into its own main pillar. Because think about the lineage of time. Like I guess if that's a factor, like right now with the pillars that we just spoke about, we only hit to the 70s. We didn't go past the 70s. So I guess if you keep going farther down the timeline, it's inevitable that there's going to be another pillar that sprouts up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's like saying like, because like the core music could be its own pillar, but it's gonna fall under the metal pillar, you know. So like, there's a lot of things that could be pillars, but they're not because
True, 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 true.
they came from somewhere,
Yeah, like that
and
could be
this is
the
where they came from,
that
you
could be
know.
like a foundational, like, to the next very important. Because I'm just thinking
Yeah.
like in succession of what music is becoming now. Has there been a genre that's been created lately that we were like, what the fuck is this? Because I'm
Yes,
thinking noise would fall under,
I have you.
what is it? Lay it on me.
A new genre
A new.
that just was created recently. Moancore.
Oh, I saw that shit.
Oh no,
It's
I'm
like,
joking.
God, that's gimmicky shit right there.
Yeah,
But hey, if it works, it works.
yeah, I'm just joking though.
I've saw some band do that. They like did the and then fucking did a breakdown with it. See, this is a good argument though. We'll have to see. We need a debate. This is a debate we have to post. I like the debate energy because it is a
Yeah,
good topic right there. Because there,
yeah,
music now, you have bands like Death Grips, and you have bands
yeah.
like
And
fucking
actually, Cabbage is one of the people I want to have on this show one day.
hell yeah. That'd
That's
be
my
sick.
boy right there.
Nice.
He's fun to talk to music about.
I was about to say he's already got some takes right here. Like music where it is right now, it's just interesting because you still have derivatives of those types of music from the pillars. So that's why we felt it integral to put those ones specifically in there. Because you
Yeah,
still have pop to this day. You still
yeah,
have folk music that's still around playing, which is amazing to me. Like they get people in the booth to like recreate Native American chants and all this weird shit. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Shit like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Everything is still fully alive today, and that's what's up with music. It transcends time. You know, that's what art is all about. It's all about like leaving your mark
Mm-hmm.
on this planet before you go. You know, and not only your mark, but like a mark that is exclusively yours. That's why I always say that art is an expression of one's soul. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Mm-hmm.
art is only art if it's exclusive to your experience on this planet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a.
I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying. There's definitely. I don't want to say like. I agree with you completely. Yes, you are right about true art to that, but people will ride the coattails of true art day in and day out, and they will try to latch on to something to try to, to market it as
And then
it's
that's how you get people that are like copy pasting songs, and
yeah,
it's like
that's
you can imitate art, but you can't create. That doesn't make you a creator, you know.
and that falls into like artists because I definitely want to do an outsider music genre breakdown where it's amazing that you get like artists like Daniel Johnston and just kind of like a one of a kind type of thing that's literally a folk legend in music to the point where it's like some of the stories sound like some fucking Paul Bunyan made up shit that like it's like how did this actually happen? Cuz the whole his music is literally a expression of him painted onto a canvas like figuratively and physically. Like it's all like it's crazy how much he contributed to like like pushing through and being a full-on artist without caring what people think,
Yeah.
because that is what's important. And nowadays I feel like that gets clouded up a lot, like that gets misconstrued a lot. People just want to make a band to start a business instead of make a band to
Yeah.
feel something.
Yeah. That's true. It's that happens a lot, and I feel like with the upcoming of like people like Kendrick and people like Tyler the Creator coming up, these MCs, you know, I respect the MCs of music because these are the people who are like honing their craft. These are the people who are rappers, recorders, producers, writers, all of their own one project. You know what I'm saying?
See,
So
and
like
go ahead.
these people, they're creating their own art that is exclusive to them, and this can be exclusive to a group of people. I'm not saying one person
Hmm.
has to write a song or one person has to work on a project, but if you yourself are not like involved in the making of your own music, then I feel like
Why
that's
you
wrong.
do it? Yeah.
I
Drake.
feel like that's wrong. You
Who said that? Fuck Drake. Shit like that though, it's insane that that's even a topic of discussion. Like, why would people make music that they don't feel? You know?
You know what's crazy? And I talk to people who aren't like music fans about it all the time, and the general consensus is, well, if it happens all the time, who cares? Oh, it happens everywhere. Everyone does it, and I'm
Ex-
like, well, just because everyone fucking does it doesn't mean that it's okay. You know,
yeah.
it
I,
doesn't make it okay.
it's a complacent way of thinking. And that's kind
Yeah,
of how you see certain bands break through that mold, because there is a fine line between like becoming a local band and then kind of just taking your band seriously. And I don't want to necessarily say and take it seriously as a business, but take it as a career choice. Like you want to do music as a career for like, and do it for a living, not necessarily to make an excess amount of money, but to fucking keep the lights on and shit. And that's what I
yeah,
feel like is admirable about music, or like the career of like
yeah.
doing music as like your job.
One of the things I always thought was cool about like art in general is that because like there's this stigma, and this is specifically about America. I'd never lived in any other country, but I believe in the famous term "get rich." The rich get richer, and the poor die trying.
Yeah,
And
you
I
really can't
feel like,
control it because of generational wealth. Like there's some people who just
yeah,
have like money that we can't even fathom because of royalty type shit. Like,
yeah, exactly. And I feel like art and music and art in general is a way for people who aren't so privileged
mm,
to break through and get up there. Meaning, like, I could use my art, you know, I'm doing it because it's art and because I love to do it, and then people can see that and appreciate that, and that's how I break out of my generational fucking poorness, you know.
yeah,
But nowadays, it's like rich people are buying into like the music industry and just,
our
you know what I'm
generational
saying?
wealth is the music. Hell yeah, dude. No, I get
I
you.
just,
I feel you
yeah, yeah,
completely, man.
hey, that's beautiful. Love you. Come
Come
here.
here. Come, you get a kiss. No, it's true
Forehead.
though, because that like being able to express yourself enough to where like literally spill your guts out on stage, and then people be like, I like that. Like, I want to support you, like.
Yeah,
And that's what it blows my mind, that those are the types of people that I want to like cultivate and be like, what kind of music do you listen to? Because I'm sure they're jamming cool shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the landscape of music right now, it's so interesting because I feel like we keep going like in this like cycle where it's like we went back to the 90s for a second there. Like we went all the way to this progression to where we were just like hearing the same overly produced shit to where everyone was like, can we just jam 90s music again? Like they started, new metal came back, scrams came back, like all this like emo fucking pop punk shit. It just kind of all pulled back together out of nowhere, and I was like, I'm here for it, but what the fuck happened? Like,
Yeah. I don't know. That's an interesting thing. A lot of people went back on their sounds. Well, maybe there was something to the degree of sometimes you gotta tear yourself down and rebuild again. You know,
and that's why I
like
feel like these pillars are important because that is like you got to look back sometimes and be like, oh, this was what was like controversial at a specific time. You got to recreate that.
yeah, exactly. Well, to a certain degree, right now, specifically within the 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 how do you say it's like where we are right now in time in America, things are going back to like like the 70s and 80s. Like people are starting to feel like things are going regressing back then. So maybe music does need to go back then to remind them, hey, we move forward from this.
No, it's crazy because I see like garage rock. Garage rock's always been around, but kind of in the background. It was popular for a second, and then now I see like kids jamming that shit like crazy. Like younger kids love like that fucking stoner doomy rock stuff now, and I'm like, dude, I didn't even listen to that shit when I was a kid. Like that's like the stuff
Yeah,
my fucking older brother would jam.
yeah. I used to listen to like The Sword,
I've seen them
shit like
live
that.
once. They're good.
Seen them live, yeah. Seen them live a couple times.
Yeah, that
I
type of
think at
shit
River
is
City
dope.
Rock Fest or some shit one time.
I saw him with Primus, I think. That shit was sick.
That
Primus goes
sounds dope.
hard. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing I'm like super stoked about to talk about those other little subgenres that like break off into
Oh yeah, that's
that.
what I'm here for, baby.
I guess should we like here, I'm gonna pull up Photoshop real quick. I was gonna say let's draw these pillars and set up what we're gonna do for the next pod, I guess. Fuck it.
You bet. But for YouTube, thank you all for listening.
Yeah. Like
We
and
don't have like a
subscribe. Check out our other content. We make silly sketches. I play in a band called Medusa Complex. Austin plays in.
Stillview.
Yeah, we write music. Check us out. I'm gonna put links below for all of our shit. Go check all of that stuff out. We're gonna be trying to do this every other week. This was a lot of fun to like talk about. So yeah, comments. All we'll put a poll. I guess we'll
Comment genres.
yeah comment stuff that y'all wanted to hear and
Genres,
talk about.
subgenres, fucking bands, songs, anything. Comment them all, and we're all gonna put them on. They're all gonna be on here
Yeah,
on our little
yeah.
scale.
So yeah, those are our 7 pillars of music right now. This is defining the line, so help us figure out those lines. We want to
Yeah,
debate it. We want to talk about it. Yeah,
let's talk about it. Our opinion isn't law. This
exactly.
is done live on stream for a reason, and that reason is so that you all can contribute to this conversation.
Exactly. Debate us. Debate us. Debate us.
Debate us.
But yeah, thanks again. This is Double Dog Dare Productions. Appreciate y'all.
1, 2, 3.